good afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, cats, squirrels, everything in between. My name is Keely, and welcome back to the Cosmic Cookies. I am your illustrious host for this review, and today we're going to be looking at Jurassic World Dominion. I literally just got back from watching this movie in the theater, so it's fresh in my brain. Ooh, baby, very, very fresh in my brain. So we're just going to go ahead and start off with this. So the first thing I want to say is that this is not a good movie at all. It's not a very good movie. You probably have already heard the numerous reasons why it's not a good movie from friends, family members, cousins, twice removed, brothers, sisters, all that good stuff. But I'm going to explain to you why it's not a very good movie. And I have a list of notes right... I have a list of notes right here why it's not very good, and it's a pretty long one, so we're going to have to sit in for this. So the first thing I have listed down here is that the characters are dumb. They are very dumb. I'm not very going to go to much detail if you still want to see this movie for some reason, but there are numerous times whenever they just made decisions that were just stupid or plain wrong in some cases. Like there's one scene where this person is trying to get to a ladder, and she lowers the ladder down, and she's running up to it, and she sees a dinosaur in front of her, and she's like, oh no, a dinosaur! And instead of climbing up the ladder to safety, she runs back the way she just came and gets effectively cornered by a dinosaur until the freaking heroes come and save her. So that was one thing. Another thing, in the exact kind of same kind of area, there is a car that comes crashing down from a mountain, and instead of like going up to see if the people in the car are still alive, they just sit there and go, and then they freaking go after they hear somebody they know crying from inside the car. The second thing I have listed here is what happened to non-Biosyn Seed, and it's somewhat of a plot point, but not at all, because they touch on it once at the very beginning of the movie and then never come back to it. Basically, the whole thing that starts the plot chain, and it's not really a spoiler because it starts what the entire movie is. Freaking apparently moths or giant locusts are eating up the crops across America, and for whatever reason are only eating certain crops. So the good guys, and freaking Chris Pratt and Neil deGrasse Tyson and freaking Alan have to go and figure out why they're eating only those certain crops, and they come to find out eventually in the first few minutes of the film that these locusts were created by a company called Biosyn. So first thing, like, oh, okay, this will be the driving force. Never heard from again. Literally, the locusts are never brought up again. They're sort of a main plot point, but the whole side of it being like, oh, they're only coded to eat certain crops is never brought up again. Like, it's just starts off, and then it's just like, well, there it is. There you go. That's your reason for all this happening. Does it have any impact whatsoever? Not really, but it's whatever. Speaking of Chris Pratt, my boy has obviously in between films become a Jedi Master because he can control dinosaurs with his mind. That's right, folks. You heard it. Chris Pratt himself can control dinosaurs with his mind. He does this. Like freaking 11 from Stranger Things, and he just causes all dinosaurs to halt. At the beginning of the movie, he's chasing out a dinosaur, a big 2-ton dinosaur on a horse, lassos it, brings it down even though it's a 2-ton dinosaur, is able to hold it with his bare hands even though it's a 2-ton dinosaur, and you know how he calms it down? May the Force be with you. You are one of us. These are not the droids we're looking for. Okay, now that we got done with the good guys, let's talk about the bad guy. Oh my gosh, this bad guy is so bad. Like, he's the bad type of bad guy where he's just like evil for the sake of being evil. There's no reason for him to be evil. As I said before, there's the locust eating certain crops and not eating the other certain crops, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. What are you gonna do about it? I'm rich. What are you gonna do about it? Yeah, freaking know they're eating the crops, they're destroying the ecosystem. What are you gonna do about it? I'm rich. I don't care. I'm rich. So, and also he has this thing going on where he's constantly, like, the first time you meet him, he's like, oh my gosh, how's it going? And then he turns and says, do you have those snack bars? Okay, I'm gonna go now, and then he leaves. Like, he's just, I can't tell if he was a bad actor or if he was written that way. Regardless, he's bad, and it just doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for him to be mentioning snack bars throughout the entire film. He's eating snack bars, or he's eating something. I assume to be snack bars. It could be the hopes and dreams that the people thought Jurassic World would be a good, domain, but who knows? And nothing comes up. I genuinely thought that it'd be something stupid like, oh, if he's like a failed experiment, and if he doesn't eat these snack bars every so often, he's going to turn into a dinosaur mutant or something. No, he's just hungry. He's just hungry, and he has a speech impediment, or he's a bad actor. I don't know. I genuinely don't know, and I don't care to find out, honestly, because it's just not worth my time, to be perfectly honest. Again, back to the dinosaurs. So the CGI was average. There are some moments, especially kind of towards the end, where the CGI was pretty good. Like with some of the dinosaur fight scenes, the CGI was pretty good. But overall, the CGI wasn't great. There's a whole montage at the very end where it's like dinosaurs living in the world, and you can obviously tell they just ripped some stock videos. In fact, I'm gonna look up real quickly if I could find a stock video. Okay, so I wasn't really able to find the exact videos I was looking for because I just don't want to take the time to do it, but they literally look like they're stock videos that either Disney provided to them or whoever made it, the movie, or whoever owns the company, or they just found on the internet. Like, they just dug into the dark recesses of the internet to find these stock videos, but you can tell they're stock videos because they're like shot like stock. You know how some stock videos are like, it's like a sweeping camera angle on like a sort of focused on the main thing but not really, and then it just kind of looks like it's not right. It just kind of has a feeling of it's not right. That's what it feels like. So I don't know if they shot it. If they did, you made it look like a stock video. If you didn't do it, provide sources or whatever. And I should have waited till the credits to see if I could find like the actual stock video credit. I don't know. I should have done that. That was my bad. Whatever. You may have heard as well that in the past, from some source or whatever, that they were going to base that the people who made this, freaking Disney or whatever, were going to make one of the dinosaurs based off of the Joker. I'm sure there was a dinosaur based off the Joker on there. I couldn't tell who it was. There wasn't a main bad dinosaur unless you consider the locusts, but those aren't really dinosaurs. Those are just big locusts. You know, there's like 3. Actually, that's generally how I have to think about this. I think there are only 2 main bad dinosaurs, but they don't really do anything. I will say that there is one scene that's actually really tense. It has to do with like I guess it's a new dinosaur that came back that's blind and uses echolocation to do it or whatever. I don't know, but that was a really good scene. I was kind of tense in that scene. But other than that, it's bad. I like to call them the CG dinosaurs because that's just what they are. You know, CG dinosaurs, pretty good. My best guess is that dinosaur that I'm talking about is the Joker dinosaur, but it reminds me more of a clicker from The Last of Us than the Joker. So it may be that. I don't know. There's another dinosaur that's supposed to be like the king of the carnivores or whatever, but that thing gets like less screen time than Darth Vader in A New Hope. So I don't know if that was it. That didn't remind me of the Joker. That reminded me of poorly edited dinosaur footage. You know, it just wasn't very good. But if that was it, congratulations. I couldn't tell. If you were trying to make it so that people couldn't tell, I couldn't. So I guess there's one for you. Speaking of the dinosaurs, this movie takes place in the Jurassic World where dinosaurs and humans are now coexisting. But my question is, why don't people have dinosaur repellent stuff? You know, you figured by this point that this movie takes place, they'd be like, oh, there are dinosaurs among us. We should probably, do something about them, have backups if people or if dinosaurs escape or break into society. No, there's none of that. There's a scene where just 2 giant dinosaurs just roaming throughout a city with absolutely nothing to stop them. One of them eats a dude. Nothing does anything about it. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Guess they didn't really think about that too much, but that's okay. They didn't really think about much in this movie for more than 5 seconds, if I'm being perfectly honest. Okay, so one of the main characters' name is Haley, I think. It's the little girl. I don't really care if I get the names wrong, but the little girl who's like a clone is one of the main characters in the movie. And at the beginning of the movie, there's the scene where she's like, I'm not a human. Why should I care about what humans have to think? And they could have explored that more. They could have used that as a plot point for whatever reason, for whatever purpose, to, I don't know, make her do bad things or good things or whatnot because she's not actually human, but they don't touch on it. Literally, she says, why should I care? I'm not a human. And then mama figure goes, actually, you are a human, so suck it up. And she's like, you're right, I am a human. I'm going to suck it up. And then that's the last we hear of that. So, I guess point to whatever her face is. I don't remember the characters' names, but, point to them for being, on top of things, I guess. One big issue that I had was that there were characters who were literally teleporting. They were either teleporting, or another thing that I have right under it, which my last point is that there are convenient paths. I don't know how some of these characters get to the places that they do. There's one of the interns of the thing who's literally in the office of the main bad guy, talking to him about this, how he was like, you're over, you're going to lose everything you ever had and whatnot. And then he just teleports the main character's place. It's like, oh, there's paths and stuff that lead from place to place. Freaking, it doesn't take less than 5 minutes to get from the office of a evil dude's lair down to a control room, because that's what basically happened. This dude went from the main office of a billionaire down to a basically air traffic control tower. And I don't know who lives next to one of those. If you have an evil lair, why do you have your room right next to the air traffic control thing? I mean, maybe for convenience, but so they didn't really make any sense, you know what I mean? And with a convenient pass, the main characters were down, like, in the jungle. They were in Vietnam, right? They were chilling in Vietnam in, like, this outpost base. They go down a tunnel, and they go through some, like, underground tunnels, and then they end up in the air traffic control tower. They don't climb up anything. I want to point that out. They don't climb up anything to get there. They literally go down into an underground tunnel, and then the next scene, you see them coming from a hallway that's, like, up. I don't know how that happened, but it's just, they're just, like, convenient paths just to make it so that it's like, oh, this character goes here, this character can get here, and however many times. It's just, it's not, you need to have, like, a set out path for, like, how people got there. You can't just say, oh, this person's here now because of this reason. You have to say, this person was here, then he got to here because he went through these steps. You can't just say, oh, this person's here, he is here now. Why is he here? Tunnels, that's why. You can't do that. You have to have a good reason other than just tunnels or space magic or whatever for them to get to a certain place. Alright, I think that's everything on my list. Alright, with that said, that's everything I got on my list about Jurassic World Dominion. Again, if you want to go see it, sure, go ahead. I'd like to say there are some good dinosaur fights, but there's not really. There's one good dinosaur fight at the very end, but that means you have to sit through the entire movie to get to it, so just look it up on YouTube or something, you should be good. But yeah, that's all I really got. You can do whatever you want with that information. It's not a good movie, that's what I said. So with that said, I'm going to serve Jurassic World Dominion 3 Cosmic Cookies out of 10, because I feel like that serving it 4 would be an injustice to everybody and everything that is good. So yeah, that's my review of Jurassic World Dominion. Hope that was helpful or unhelpful to the people making the film, or hope that was helpful to the people making the film so they know how to make a good film. Yeah, that's all I got for this afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep staying awesome, love the neighbor and all that good stuff. Got you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Go see a good movie.